Hello and welcome to the 1111 Update Podcast. My name is Krista Kayser, also known as the Vibe Curator. I'm an intuitive tarot reader and just an all-around yapper. So welcome to my 6th episode, my 3rd solo. I promise there should be no tears today. Today is all about manifestation and I want to just talk about it. Let's be real. I have had a long journey with manifestation. I used to make fun of people who were like, yeah, the universe is out to, make my every wish come true. And it's like, I was just coming from such a space that I could never imagine getting what I wanted out of life, that like I couldn't imagine that anybody else could be that intentional or free about it. So I went from hater to believer. I will own that. That's for damn sure. And I'm honestly going to start off by talking about just things that I've manifested and people, clients, friends have manifested, because I think that's like a great kind of carrot to dangle and to know that like these great things can happen. I manifested a boyfriend, let's be real, when I don't know why I keep saying let's be real, forgive me. When I want to say in Jasper in around 2016, 2017, I wrote this, probably 2017, I wrote this list of things that I wanted in a partner, in a boyfriend. And when I met my now ex from the farm that Shrimpy and I ran away from in 2020, he checked every single thing on my list. And I remember getting a notebook that had that little list in it. Like I wrote it, forgot about it, which is what we're going to get into. And I remember like living with him and like going through a bunch of my stuff and finding this list that my aunt had brought out from Ontario and being like, no fucking way. Like who knew? So, that was probably like the first thing that I really consciously remember being like, holy shit, I manifested this. But also, I'm just, remembering now. Sorry, my little earbud popped out. I just remembered in grade 2, we were asked for Mother's Day to like draw self-portraits with like pencil crayons, whatever. So I guess I was finished mine early and I went around the classroom and I remember like a bunch of people had drawn these little like dents in their cheeks for dimples. And I was like, what the fuck? I want dimples. And I don't believe at the time that I had any. And I swear on everything that means anything to me that I manifested fucking dimples. So I went back and I drew my little dents on my little Happy Mother's Day self-portrait. And I think it was like grade 6 or 7. So 4 or 5 years later that I was like looking at a photo or something. I was like, do I have dimples? And I had like one on my right side and like a faint one on my left side. So that was pretty exciting. In terms of like just in the last year for 2023, I manifested free Botox, free filler, lips, skincare, facials, haircuts. I met Jonathan Van Ness and did a meet and greet at Just for Laughs Toronto that wasn't even for sale. Like the chances of that happening were next level. I'm a Bravo-holic, as I'm sure I've mentioned before, and I manifested and got a spot to be on a Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen as a virtual audience member. I've manifested. I love being showered with gifts. Even though it's funny, it's not my love language. I don't actually enjoy it. It's so fun when I set the intention that I'm going to receive them and then I get showered with them. I've manifested jobs. When I was moving back out to Jasper around, I think it was 2022, I wanted to work 4 days a week, have 3 days off, and find a place that had, well, jobs and housing. Let's be real. The let's be real has got to go. I'm sorry about that. So I manifested a 4-day-a-week job, and it was like 10 hours a day, torture, hated the job, but we'll talk about clarity after. And it was a house that it was incredibly reasonable for rent, and it allowed me to have shrimp. So those are just a few things. I've had clients manifest houses, relationships, pregnancy, which like I'm not taking any responsibility for that. It was meant for them. It was meant to happen. I've manifested money, of course, and yeah. So how the fuck does this happen? Like, how the hell do we manifest? Well, it's really hard. Like, I know for myself sometimes when I'm like in it, where I'm kind of going through a lot, I'm not really happy with how my life is going, or I'm not really happy with, say, like previously like living situation or a relationship or a job. Like, those are just some of the things. And it's really hard to know what you want when you're so caught up in hating what you've got going on. So the first thing truly is getting clear on what it is that you want. And how do you do that? Especially when you don't know what you want. Well, you know what you don't want. So for example, like in a relationship, I now know that I don't want anybody who does not communicate or who isn't willing to grow in terms of learning how to communicate with me, their partner. So that's like an absolute nope, thank you. So with that, like, and with a job, let's say, I don't want to work at a job where I have to work like 50 hours a week, you know, you get 2 weeks holiday. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not my dream. It's not what works for me. And so the opposite of that is like, I always want jobs that have a little more freedom, that I'm allowed to kind of take time when I need to. There's a bit of a flexible schedule. I'm reliable as fuck. I am a great worker. However, I want to have the freedom of my life. If I'm working hard to help somebody else's dream come true, I want to be able to do that for myself. So that's, you know, if I don't like that kind of a job, what's the opposite of that? So getting clear on what it is you want, and even like in terms of how you want to feel. Like, I have struggled my whole life with my body image, how I feel about it, how others feel about it. I've been told about my body my whole life. Like, and so that really does a number. And I don't want to feel self-conscious. I don't want to feel like shit every time I see my body. I don't want to feel like I am like separate from my body. And so the opposite of that is I want to love my body. I want to feel great in my body and learn to love my body no matter how it looks, no matter how it feels, because it's fucking working for me. Hello, I'm breathing, I'm thinking, I'm moving, I'm healing. I don't know if you guys know this. I had a hysterectomy 2 weeks ago. So I have to, especially right now, learn how to see my body as not working against me. So we're going to get into that because that's another part of manifesting. It's mindset. It's changing our narrative. It's identifying our limiting belief systems. I know I'm kind of jumping all over, but welcome to my fucking brain, people. I find if I write things down, then I kind of lose the flow. I lose the authenticity. So bear with me. So just with that, like I want to feel good in my body. I want to feel great about it. And I want to feel the healthiest I've ever felt, instead of feeling like shit like I have been for the last, year and 3 months straight, but like before that, once at least, half the month for 27 years. So if you don't know what it is necessarily specifically that you want just off the top of your head, spend some time thinking about things that you don't want and what is the opposite of that. And that will really, really help to give you some clarity. For example, again, if you're in a relationship or you're in a housing situation where you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel like you're able to really unwind, relax, and be yourself, then manifest, a place that you are secure, you're safe, you're the most yourself you've ever been, you're comfortable, it's easy, it feels good, maybe it's on your own, maybe it's in a shared living situation, maybe it's finding the people who align best with you and create the most beautiful feeling home. So there's always, ways to specify things to what you specifically want. And again, to learn what you want, you have to know what you don't want. And so once you kind of get that, I forget where I heard this, but I want to explain this. Manifestation is part of us, and it's part our guides, angels, the universe, God, creator, whatever it is that you believe in. So my part is that, I can give you the order. I can tell you what it is that I want, and the universe, God, creator, angels, guides, their job is to kind of take us to where we need to go and how we need to get there. So the best analogy I've ever heard is like, picture manifestation as you getting into the passenger seat of a car. And again, God, your angels, guides, creator, whatever your belief system is, the universe, they're sitting in the driver's seat. And it's your chance to put in where you want to go on the GPS. However, you can plug that shit in, you can hit go, but it is not up to you how long it takes, what route you go, how many stops there are between, here and there. And that's the gift, is like, we think we have to kind of control how it's going to happen. But the beauty is like, just believe that it's going to happen, because we can't kind of let it go. And again, I'm going to circle back to that later, but that is the best analogy that I can think of or have ever heard for manifestation. So you have to get clear on the coordinates that you're plugging into the GPS, right? And then the next thing really is to align yourself with the manifestations, with the things that you are calling in. And like, you don't have to manifest one thing at a time. I love a manifestation journal. I love setting intentions with the new moons. Like, I just made, it's called the 100 manifestation list. And you get a couple slices of paper and you write down 1 through 100. And you write down beyond your wildest dreams, short term, long term, any time frame, what it is that you want to manifest. And I started that just before my hysterectomy, and I think it was within 3 days I was able to cross one of the manifestations off, and it was something that I was not expecting at all. So it's incredible. Sorry, my throat chakra is clearing as we're talking about this. And I say we as in the royal we, because it does feel like a conversation, even though it's just me. So with that being said, you can do a manifestation journal. You can do your 100 manifestation list. You can, do a vision board. There are so many different ways to do it. You can do all of the above. It's whatever feels best and most aligned with you. And so going back to alignment, we have to align ourselves with the frequency of the manifestations that we want. What the fuck does that mean? It means that, for example, let's go back to a relationship. This is the one that I have the hardest time with. And I think it's, dealing with endometriosis, with the, deciding to have a hysterectomy. There's so many things that I wanted nobody else's opinion on. Like I said, I've had opinions on my body since the fucking day I was born. And I do not give credence. I do not give space right now for anybody else to have a fucking opinion about it aside from my trusted professionals. So, with a relationship, I have to open my brain and my heart and everything back up to that. And so if I want to align myself with the frequency of being in a loving, passionate, loyal, respectful, adventurous, fun, communicative, loving relationship, What does that feel like? Fucked if I know. But like I do, you know what I mean? Like you see it in the movies, you see it with your friends, you see it in your families, hopefully. You see it around, in books, whatever. And you can use those images, you can use those moments and insert yourself in there. And you don't have to know who it is that, like, I don't have a fucking clue who it is that I'm going to end up with, but I want to, allow myself the freedom to picture it, to feel what it's going to feel like, to wake up, to feel loved, to walk around a house that's shared. That's not just your own stuff. That is, a beautiful convergence and merging of two beautiful lives, and have my own space within that, but also feel content about the shared space. Like that's a big thing for me. So that's, again, one example. On the other hand, like let's say employment. How does it feel to feel valued at work, to go in, to never dread work, to look forward to it every single time that you go? What does it feel like to be well compensated and to look into your bank account and to see that you have more than you need? And I don't mean that as in like there's a cap. I mean, in our brains, we have this idea of, okay, well, we have this bill, we have this, budget, this birthday coming up, this wedding over here. Like we all kind of have these ideas swimming around in our heads of what it is that we need to output. And so what would it feel like to have more than what you think is what you need? What would it feel like to have an abundance of money, of love? And that's the idea of alignment. That's where meditation comes in really well, because it's really hard to go from I fucking hate my job to, oh my God, this feels amazing, this made up thing that I don't fucking really clearly see. So meditations are everything. I remember when I manifested my job in Jasper, my job in home, circa 2022, I've mentioned this before, and it's my dream, since this is a manifestation thing, I'm manifesting that Insight Timer will become one of my sponsors. But there's this great meditation on Insight Timer, and it's free, and it's by Katie. Let me just look, because it is in my favorites. Before I do that, I'll look it up while I'm telling this story. I did it, I think it's like a 21-day meditation, and it's the same thing over and over again, and it asks you to keep coming back to this place, to really set the intention to know that your manifestation is there, and what does future you look like, and how does future you feel, and I find sometimes the subconscious mind, the meditating mind, can really be more adaptable, more malleable with it, as opposed to my conscious brain. Like, somebody says, what do you want for dinner? We all know the famous, I don't know. But if it's like, I'm laying there and I'm thinking about little chicken Caesar salad. Because, guys, that was me last night. I was dreaming about a chicken Caesar salad, and all I wanted was a fucking chicken Caesar salad. So you know what I did? I ordered a chicken Caesar salad. But I forget where the fuck I was going with that. That was too much off on a chicken Caesar salad. But I think I did that one I definitely did it for 21 days, but my manifestation came true before that. I got the job offer like within, I think, 2 weeks of that. And this meditation is called Manifest Your Soul's Desires, and it's by Katie Janita. She's also known as the Womanifester. She's done coaching for a good friend of mine, and she is just an oracle of so many things. She's a wonderful resource on manifestation. I will link it in the show notes. So, alignment is manifestations. Oh my God, alignment is manifestations. No, aligning your frequency with your manifestations is how you're going to bring yourself into the same level, on the same frequency. in the same fucking realm, in the same wheelhouse. So how do we do that? We use our thoughts, we use our actions, and we use affirmations. So this is one of my favorite things I've ever learned. So I think I've talked about this probably, I don't know, maybe all 6 episodes about emotion code. When I was reading the book by Dr. Bradley Nelson, there is a chapter about Dr. Emoto and how our words affect water, and how he did this great study on taking vials of water and playing different types of music to it and seeing how the water reacted to it and how the molecular structure of the water changed based on, listening to this music. And he looked at that and said, shit, okay, what if we use words? So then he would write positive words and label these vials, and he would take negative words and label these vials, and he would charge them overnight with those words, and then the next day, again, compare and contrast the molecular structure that these water cells had based on the positive and negative word affirmations. Well, the positive words were just like these beautiful kind of snowflake crystalline structures, and just magnificent. And the ones with the negative connotations and the negative words, those were a little more lopsided, not quite as beautiful. It just didn't have the same effect. And so when we think that we are over 70% water as the human body, you don't think your words fucking matter? Like, if you go to bed, and this is what I used to do. I have always had an issue with sleep because I used to go to bed my whole life until maybe 3 years ago. And I would lay there and worry and think of every terrible thing I've ever done in my life. Think of how things aren't working out. Think of, oh my God, I'm so broke. How the fuck am I going to pay rent? I don't even have enough money for a TTC pass. There's so many things that used to go through my brain. And then it would literally keep me up at night. And then the whole next day I'd feel like shit. It would just be a cycle, right? And I remember one point I discovered Kyle Gray. I don't know if I had one of his decks, his Oracle decks, or if I just came across him on social media, how it happened. But I remember doing this kind of, I don't know if it was a gratitude workshop or an affirmation workshop, and he was talking about thank your guides and angels in advance for the things that are bothering you, for the things that you need solved, for all of it. And there was several times where, I was very worried about making rent or having money, for cell phone bill, food, whatever the case may be. And when I started going to bed saying, thank you, guides and angels, for the returning and new clients, thank you, guides and angels, for the financial abundance. Thank you, guides and angels, for bringing me abundance in expected and unexpected ways. Thank you, guides and angels, for my health. Thank you, guides and angels, for my wealth. All of it. And one of my favorites is thank you, guides and angels. Hold on. Thank you, guides and angels, for rapidly granting me my manifestations. I am amazed with how quickly and easily things happen for me. That one has been a fucking game changer. And then there's other times where, especially honestly the last year with my health, I just never knew how I was going to feel. You think you're going to feel great, and then all of a sudden you feel like absolute shit, and you have to cancel plans on the same person that you've canceled plans on 4 times, and it's not because you don't want to see them. It's literally because you cannot get out of bed. That fucking sucks. So I used to do thank you, guides and angels, for showing me how good it can get. Thank you, guides and angels, for showing me how amazing things can be. And that is the one that helps me going when I just got goosies all over my body. when I'm really going through it. Okay, noted. Thank you. I've just, side note, I've been having a miserable couple of weeks, just obviously recovering, and I had a very small issue that in the grand scheme of things is nothing, but was kind of torture for a couple of days. So sometimes when I end up doing readings, I'll say something and my guides and angels will be like, bitch, listen to your fucking self. I'm like, okay, I got it. So thank you, guides and angels, for showing me how good it can get. Visualization is huge. Sorry, I did not mean to y'all, but I kind of did. Visualization is everything. So coming back to my health, just as an example, I'm visualizing myself like frolicking on a beach, just like living my best life, swimming, because I can't do that until July 30th. Hold me in your hearts. I'm a Cancer child. I am a July baby. I was born in a swimming pool. Not actually, but I feel like they probably just could have tossed me in as a newborn and I would have found my way. So it's a little bit torture to not be able to swim, especially with a pool in the backyard. And 154 lakes in the general area. So, I'm picturing myself feeling good. I'm picturing myself feeling healthy. I'm picturing myself looking good, looking healthy. I'm picturing myself, being active. I'm picturing myself feeling wonderful about it, waking up and being able to kind of go about my day and not kind of take the temperature of where am I at? What's my body doing? Where can I go with this? So within that as well, let's bring it all back to alignment. Visualization is a part of our alignment. I have on my phone, my background, my lock screen is a vision board. Above my bed, I have a vision board. So that's the first. Well, it's not really the first thing because I moved it around. It used to be on the opposite wall from my bed, but I moved it because I wanted it to kind of be like osmosis, where at night my little manifestations just be rolling around my beautiful head. So it's hopefully one of the first things I see in the morning, and one of the last things I see at night is my vision board. And I am a visual person. I'm a Leo moon, I'm a Leo Venus, and a Leo Mercury. So the way I communicate, the way I express myself, how I relate to art and beauty, it's all Leo. It's all visual. It's all, I'm a girly pop who likes patterns, gold sparkles, busy colors, like Leo. So for me, that's just how I express. And for other people, it's so sweet to see. I have some minimalist friends who you look at their vision boards and you're like, oh my God, okay, we are not the same. And it's not that we could have the exact same images. It's how one would lay it out. So that's what I really love, again, about visualization, manifestation, alignment. It's all unique to you. And again, that's the whole fucking point of this podcast, is to show that spirituality is unique to you. Nobody's path is the same. Even though we could go similar routes, we can use similar resources, it's never going to look exactly the same. And that's the beauty of it. Going into mindset and belief systems. So yes, okay, we're doing affirmations. Did I really finish that train of thought? Hard to say. I'm not rewinding. I probably did. So with our mindset and limiting belief systems, that's where I said earlier, we punch in our coordinates and it's up to the guides and angels and everybody else to kind of take us there. However, there are certain things that we can be doing. If you are trying to manifest $1 million, let's say, and your belief system is that rich people are fucking assholes and people with money don't deserve it, and I'm better than that rich fuck, that's not in alignment with manifesting $1 million. Those are two totally clashing ideals. Those are two totally clashing belief systems. So there's ways to kind of look at our limiting belief systems. I had a really hard time with money. I still do from time to time. Like, it's not necessarily the belief system, it's sometimes management for me. However, when I was a kid growing up, I I think we had like a brief allowance, like that it didn't last long, but like anytime I wanted to do something, even though it wasn't necessarily expensive in any way, shape, or form, I was told like, no, we don't have the money for that, or like, no, that's too expensive, even if it's like a $5 video dance. Shout out to all the people who bumped and grinded at the Evan Rood Center when we were like 12. Oh my God, those were the days. So I was told that I was offered a spot on a baseball team when I was younger, and it was a competitive one, and my parents said no, that they didn't have the money, and they didn't want to spend their weekends driving me around to baseball diamonds. So I was, from that early age, like, okay, I'm not worthy of my wants. I'm not worthy of the things that I desire. I'm not worthy of my passions and pursuing them. I love art. Like, I remember Art Attack, that Neil Buchanan. I just like live, laugh, love to shit. Mr. fucking Dress Up. I don't even think you understand the way that I would stare in awe of Ernie Coombs's like crisp, gorgeous, not even like childlike in any way, but like just creative juices flowing. His drawings, the way that he could make like a crayon sing on blank paper. The sound of his little scissors on construction paper or cardboard or an egg carton. Like, I cannot tell you what that fucking does to my soul. I'm alarming my dog with how animated and passionate I am about I keep calling him Dr. Dressup because fuck Mr. Dressup, he was a doctor to me. Also, side note, nobody told me that if you watched like the doctor, oh my God, Mr. Dressup, guys, the brain frog is so fucking real. I can't even tell you. If you watch the Mr. Dressup documentary on Prime, be prepared to sob. I was not prepared. I literally sobbed for 45 minutes straight. Digression. Back to crafts. Back to my belief system around it. So with the money thing is like, I never had money for art classes. Even as an adult, when I would, have like a little bit of extra money, I still didn't feel like my passion, my wants, my dreams were valuable enough to invest in. And over the last, I don't know, however many years, probably 4 years, I've really done a good job of nurturing that inner child, changing that dialogue. When I see some pastels, I buy them. When I see, an embroidery kit, I buy it. When I see Crayola air dry clay, I buy that shit and I fucking go home and I have a time with it. I remember at my old apartment, I replaced my dining room table with a drafting table, with an art table. And it was just something that was free on the internet that I paid them to deliver it to my apartment. And just recently, one of my favorite local artists, Ella Molly, she was getting rid of one of her 2 art tables, and she was an angel and brought it over. So again, manifestation. I paid $0 for a table that I've been wanting for a long time, again, because I'm back in Peterborough. I'm back to my creative little juices. And there she goes. Ella posted it on her story and I snapped it right on up. So the limiting belief systems, like, I had to really rewire that idea that my passions, my wants were not worthy of investing in, that I wasn't worthy of investing in. And one of the best resets that I ever had in terms of mindset was, her name is Manifestation Babe. I think it's Catherine Zanika. She has this 21-day work journal or workbook from Amazon or wherever you can order it from or buy it from. And it's a 21-day workbook to manifest $1,000. And it really goes through and breaks down your belief systems around money. And I find with manifestation, a lot of people, that's one of the things they want to manifest is money, abundance, security, all of those things, financial security, financial freedom. So I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend that book for just reworking your belief systems around money. And you could probably honestly use that framework to do it with just about anything. With relationships that, if you're not feeling loved or worthy in your relationship, like to think about that limiting belief system. Why do I feel like I'm deserving of staying in a relationship where I don't feel loved? Where has that been taught to me? And that's probably the hardest part of manifestation, is really seeing your part and your brain's part in blocking your blessings and blocking some manifestations. Now, disclaimer, I should have said this at the beginning. However, I'm saying it now. You're not always going to get every single thing that you want. And that's not because you're not worthy of it. It's because sometimes there's a better fucking option coming. So, with certain outcomes, like I remember, so with my Reiki master, she was doing like a tryout where you could become part of her team. And I was so sure that was exactly my path in this, that was how I was going to find my success, that's how I was going to establish and grow my business, and how that was my path moving forward. And when I tell you I didn't get it, I can't tell you how much it crushed me. It crushed me. But now I can see that had I gone that route, I would have had limited earning potential because she set the prices. And not that I'm like extravagant priced or anything like that. But again, there was no ability to kind of control how many clients, what you were doing, marketing, like you still had to bounce that off somebody else. And I ended up doing way more business as an intuitive, as a tarot reader. So it really would have stopped me from growing this other muscle and this other gift. So I'm grateful for that I didn't get it, even though it was gut crushing and gut punching in the beginning. Like, here I am on the other side and I can see the blessing, the blessing and the lesson. I swear to God, today is so unhinged. I'm not even crying. I did not promise that it would not be unhinged. I did promise that I wouldn't cry. Ha ha ha, suckers. We have to retrain our brains. We have to learn how to redirect, reframe, and think the opposite. I worked for a couple of girls in BC, and they were like love and light and positivity and all of this stuff. And then one of the ladies, you'd say like, oh, hey, sorry, there was a mistake with this. And it was their mistake, which is fine, obviously. And I remember the first time I said, hey, I don't think this is right. Like, can you fix this, please? And it was something so small, so minuscule, so, low impact. And the first thing she said was, I am such a fucking idiot. How could I be so stupid? And I, after, COVID, being alone for a long time and then doing all of this work on myself, spent a lot during the last 4 years, I was stunned that an adult woman would speak about herself that way. In 2023, I was but not stunned in a judgmental way. I was just in my own little bubble, not realizing that, yeah, duh, bitch, there's still people out there who are on their own fucking journey. So that was one of those things where I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder in my life how many times I've said something that made somebody so uncomfortable about how I felt about myself. And not that we need to make other people feel comfortable in any way, shape, or form, but, you know, like you start to reflect and go, oh my gosh, have I like been the buzzkill in those moments? Holy shit. I'm so glad I'm on this journey, on this end of things. And so to retrain your brain and go, you know, like I'm a human. I make mistakes. This is something I go through a lot with my clients. Actually, I go through a lot with my friends. I go through a lot with people I love. Is don't talk about my. I'll always say to my best friend, don't talk about my best friend that way. And she's like, ooh, yeah, sorry. And especially a lot of people with kids. Like, I know that my mom was on a diet my entire life. That food, appearance, how people looked, like those things go a long way. And coming back to the limiting belief systems, like I remember the first time that I consciously heard my mom's voice about something about myself. And like, let me say that, you know, I've looked in the mirror 100 times and been like horrified, been hard on myself, been everything. So, you know, this is like nothing new for me. However, this time I heard who it was that was saying it. And I think I was like putting on makeup. This was, I don't know, 2015, 2014. I was putting on makeup and like I had like a little, you know, hole from like a blackhead on my cheek or something. And I heard in my mom's voice, and this is going to sound 10 out of 10 exactly like her. Nobody wants somebody with potholes in their face. Like, that's the shit my mom would say about, like, my little pimples when I was a kid or, like, having acne as a teenager. Nobody wants someone who has potholes in their face. Like, that fucks people up, you know? And not in a, like, oh my God, I can't even, like, eat, sleep, drink, whatever, be a normal person about it. It's like, no, that's the shit. That's the sleeper cell. That's the thing that you hear over and over and over again in your head, and you put yourself down for something. One, I can't control that fucking blackhead thing is there. Like, buy me better fucking skincare, bitch. Show me what to fucking do. Take me to a dermatologist. Take me to a facialist. Don't fucking put that shit on me. Your insecurities about your acne have nothing to do with me. And sorry, got a little heated there, but that's how it is. And so that's where just these ideas about success, our ideas about love, our ideas about money, our ideas about freedom in terms of travel, time, energy, friendships, they all come from somewhere. They all stem. So with these limiting belief systems, it's like, do we even subscribe to them? Do we even believe that? Do you know, my ex-boyfriend did not have good skin. Like, I wouldn't say that, you know, he was like, he could be like a dermatology model or anything like that. However, I thought he was attractive. I really loved him. His skin had nothing to do with how I felt about him. And like, I mean, I've been estranged from my mom for, I don't know, coming on 13 years. But you think about those judgments and like how different I'd be if I still kind of had that hook into me. If I was still dealing with the same kind of limiting belief systems being repeated to me unknown. So we have these belief systems. I truly believe success is freedom of time, money, and energy, and a life where you can love and just enjoy it. That to me is success. It's not a number. It's not a house, let's say. It's not like a stereotypical status symbol. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I would be like, yeah, I would love a Chanel purse. Yeah, if I had bajillions and bajillions of dollars, cool. Maybe I would love a Chanel purse. But I probably, you know, I wouldn't turn one down if somebody fucking gave it to me. But I think there's maybe other designers, there's other things that I would prefer at this time with that. So different belief systems, right? Like, I'd probably put that, you know, $3,000, $4,000 into a plane ticket going to Greece, back to Greece. So with these belief systems, with our manifestations, with being able to affirm all of our manifestations, we know what we want, we're doing the right things, and we're removing these and releasing these limiting belief systems. Now what? Now we have to let go any attachment about how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, who's going to make it happen. Like, there are so many things that we cannot control. For example, I was looking at vacations in 2017 with a friend, and we were looking at Greece because I was dying. I don't know. I got like bit by like a Greek bug or something in 2016 or 2017, and it just like festered in my little brain and was like, bitch, go to Greece. It's beautiful. Go to Greece. Go to Greece. Go to Greece. When I was with my ex, we were trying to figure out what to do for our anniversary. And I thought, like, let's not waste money on presents. Why don't we go on a trip? And bitch, I went to Greece. We went for 20 days. I think it was, 19 days without travel. So it was like 21 days with travel and 19 days in Greece. And it was like, if you're one of my good friends who's followed me on my personal Instagram, you know that was the fucking trip of a lifetime. Like, I think I inspired people to go to Greece. Tourism Greece, if you're listening, shout out, love you. I will come back sponsored. Manifesting. But at the time in 2017 with my girlfriend, I was like bummed that I didn't get to Greece. I was bummed that we didn't go, but we ended up going to Jalisco in Mexico. It's like 45 minutes by boat from Puerto Vallarta. It's in the Mexican jungle. There's like 1,000 locals that live there. It's absolutely spectacular. And it was where I was meant to go. So with Greece, 2 years later, all of a sudden, that September, I was frolicking around, avoiding the ouzo that they give you at every meal, and stuffing my face with feta. It was delicious. But we have to release control. We have to go, okay, if I am entrusting my manifestations, my beliefs, my dreams with my guides, angels, God, creator, whatever it is that you believe in, the universe, then why don't I trust? If I'm entrusting them with it, where's my faith? I have to know that it's going to happen when it's meant to. And I truly believe in divine timing. I think that's one of the hardest things, when you look back at things, when you look back at your life, when I look at like my dad passing, all of these things, like, unfortunately it is divine timing. Like, I don't have control over it. I don't think he had control over it, but it was his time to go. It was meant to happen. And there have been other things in life where I didn't get them at the time that I really thought that I needed and wanted them. And I got something totally different very shortly after. And it showed me why I shouldn't have gotten those things, because that's not where my path was going. So there is this, we've had things. So sorry, I'm like stuttering over it because I'm trying to organize my little brain again to communicate what it is that I'm going through here. But when we're 29, I've talked about a Saturn return before. It can start late 28, early 29, or 30. Everybody's kind of Saturn return is within this little time frame. And the Saturn return will knock you off your fucking socks. If you are not on the path that you are meant to be on, if you are not living in alignment, if you are not living in your purpose, it will shake you the fuck up and throw you where you're meant to be. It's almost like with eclipse season, I always joke, or I don't joke, I say that it's like, picture you're on a globe, you're on a little earth globe, and somebody comes and flips that whole thing upside down, and then shakes it, and then puts it back upside right. It's like whatever is with you is what's meant to be with you, and whatever has fallen away during that time was not meant for you any longer. And so I truly believe that with manifestation, that there are things that, are for reason, season, or a lifetime. And it's very rare that things last a lifetime. And I always look for the blessing and the lesson. And so, especially with my ex, with that, like, it was such a blessing to be in a relationship where I felt safe enough to do the work on myself that I have been dying to do, the things that I was really called to do. I would have never discovered Reiki if it weren't for him. I shouldn't say never. Let's not give him that much credit. But I wouldn't have found it in the same way. I wouldn't have found my voice in this way. I wouldn't have discovered my gift in this way. And I wouldn't have shrimp. Like, there's so many different things in my life that I am so thankful and grateful to him for, because our love was strong and safe enough for me to do those things. And I will always, like, hold that in my heart. And then the lesson being like, that was a relationship. That was the one where I forgot to write communicate on my little manifestation list. So there were lessons. I know that I don't want to be with somebody who already has their whole life planned out. I do not want to be the person who somebody can just insert into their life and their life stays the same. I want somebody who wants to collaborate on a life together, who wants to dream together, who wants to create goals and manifest a beautiful existence together. So this is me releasing my attachment to the how, when, and why. But I really want to pronounce, to underline, to exclamation mark that gratitude is the best fucking thing we can do for manifestation. Michael J. Fox has this quote. I'm a repeater, guys. I'm a yapper. I'm a repeater. So if I'm saying the same thing over again, stop me. But it'll be too late because this will already be recorded. But he has this fabulous fucking quote that with gratitude, optimism is sustainable. And I also think with gratitude, magnetism is sustainable. We have to be grateful for the things that we have, even if it's your worst hangover in the world. And you can be thankful for a comfortable bed, a cool fan, a nice, gorgeous porcelain toilet, and some McDonald's or, some skip the dishes, some DoorDash, whatever it is. Like, that is gratitude. It doesn't have to always be like, thank you for the sun, the moon, the stars, thank you for whatever. Start with thank you for the roof over my head. I am so grateful for waking up today. I'm so grateful for the gorgeous hot shower that I just took and for the fridge full of food. I am grateful that I have money in my bank account, that I have access to a vehicle that I can drive and use when I need. I am so grateful for this tiny 10-pound wonder named Shrimp who fucking loves me up and down. I am so grateful for my beautiful aunt and for all of her love and support. I am so grateful to have a podcast where I can share these things. I am so grateful for you who listens, who is receiving this, who is of interest. I am so fucking grateful for my health. I am so grateful for my doctor. That's a lot of things to be grateful for. And I've barely even scratched the surface. So, gratitude is the ultimate magnet. So you can do a manifestation journal, you can do a vision board, you can do all of that, but it means nothing if you aren't grateful for what it is that you already have. One of my favorite affirmations that I created was, I am grateful for where I am and I am excited for where I'm going. Like, period. What more do you need to fucking say to that? So I hope that answered maybe some, if not all, of your queries and thoughts about what the fuck manifestation is. I did ask my Instagram followers for questions, what questions they had about manifestation. So I'm just going to address those. One of the questions is, what is the difference between manifestation and affirmations? Great fucking question. So manifestation is the thing that you're calling in, or the feeling, or money. Like, let's just say, for example, it's money. Say I need money. Let's say I need financial abundance. So that is my manifestation, is financial abundance. Affirmations are what you use in the day-to-day to align with and affirm the manifestations that you want. So it's acting as if you already have it. So if I'm calling in financial abundance, one of my affirmations could be, I attract money. Money finds me easily and quickly. There's one. Perfect. So that's this idea. Money doesn't have to be hard now. In my body, my body's receiving the idea that money does come to me quickly and easily. That I am financially abundant. That I have more than enough money in my bank account, and I can do the things that I want to do, and I don't feel the financial pressure. How fucking great is that? Another one would be, thank you, guides and angels, for providing me financial abundance in expected and unexpected ways. If it's a relationship that you're looking to get in, I am in a loving, compassionate, passionate, adventurous, loyal relationship. And put in the adjectives that you want, that you need. With, let's say, a job. Okay, when I wanted to go from being employed by somebody else to doing this full time, one of my manifestations, I actually ended up singing all the time. It was, I'm a successful, empowered, self-employed woman. Sorry, I couldn't remember it. I had to sing the song, but that was like my jam. When I would take Shrimp for a walk, I would be scream singing, I'm a successful, empowered, self-employed woman. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. So I hope that answers that. Affirmations are the way that you use your words. You can use numbers too. Sorry. I forgot to say that. So with my cell phone, as I mentioned, I do the background as a vision board, and I actually use my passcode as an angel number to affirm what it is that I'm calling in. So there are, a shit ton of angel numbers you can use. If you aren't sure, you can always send me a DM at the.vibe.curator, and we'll come up with one together. If you have a lucky number that you've always been kind of drawn to, look it up. Google it. See what the angel that means as an angel number. And I also organize all of my apps in my phone with affirmations. So, when you group on an iPhone, a bunch of shit together, it'll say social media or communications or whatever. I rename those. So mine right now is, I am empowered, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am productive, I am nourished, I am spiritual. I could probably use a refresh on those, but again, those are just a couple of examples. So that is the difference. Now, the second question is, do you think manifestation comes down to mindset or timing or both? And then any manifestation tips. Pardon me. I hopefully covered that earlier, but short answer is, I think it comes down to mindset. I think mindset is everything, because like I said, if you think, all rich people are fucking evil and terrible and money is dirty, and then you also want money, those two ideas don't mix together. They don't align, they don't flow, they clash, they cancel each other out. So if you're of a mindset that success looks different for everybody, oh my goodness, I wondered if you guys heard that little shrimpy noise. That if success looks different for everybody, then everybody deserves to be successful in their own way. And so that, again, changes the mindset, changes the energy around it. It's like with intentions, if you want to do well, to show other people that you can do it, then there's a certain energy attached to that. Not to say you won't do it, but there is a certain energy attached to that. If you are pursuing something because it's your dream, it's what you love, you can help people with it, that it's what you are here to do, then that's another energy, right? Because the vibration of me doing something because I love it, because I'm passionate about it, because I know in this world that is what I'm meant to do, how can I not win with that? How can I not attract what it is that I'm calling in with that? Where if I'm only out to prove other people wrong, then maybe I'm not in alignment with the rest of my manifestations. So you can still get things like, oh my gosh, I should have said this earlier, but when I was with my ex, I used to have these dreams, recurring dreams of me having to constantly pack up within a short amount of time and get the fuck out. And I'd tell him, like, oh my God, I had the worst dream. And I'd tell him about it. He'd go, oh my God, babe, that would never happen. Like, don't worry. It'll never happen. When we broke up, I was like, I had 24 hours to pack. And my friend was coming to pick me up. And I was so sick. I can't even tell you. He had to pack me up. He had to pack my entire life up. He had to, well, I was leaving him. Like, I can't imagine how traumatic that was for him. But I remember being like, and saying to him, like, this is that dream. This is that nightmare coming true. And so there have been things where, we can do these self-fulfilling prophecies. And I'm not saying that my dream was necessarily a self-fulfilling prophecy, but if we have this thing with say relationships where everybody who comes near me hurts me, so I'm not opening up my heart because you're just going to hurt me. And then you get into a relationship with somebody and people make mistakes. People are human. People get hurt. Like, that's life. And you get hurt. And then you go, see, I knew it. I knew you were going to hurt me. Well, what the fuck's that? What room does that leave for anybody to surprise you, to love you, to be great? And that was something that I was definitely guilty of in my past relationship was, I used to say, you can't communicate, you don't know how to talk. Instead of leaving room open to say, like, we're learning how to communicate with each other. Instead of, we can't fucking figure this out. Like, there are other ways in which I blocked myself, which I can see with that. And so I left no room for growth. I left no room for improvement. I left no room to be surprised. I left no room for magic, really. And so that's where I do think mindset is 10 out of 10, one of the most important things with manifestation, if not the most important thing. And any manifestation tips, manifestation journal, the 100 manifestation list, that Catherine Zanika Manifestation Babe 21-day workbook. I think that thing's huge. Vision boards, both digital and physical. Because again, how many times do you enter your phone password? How many times do you open that screen? You could be using that time to affirm what it is that you're calling in. This person who wrote this is one of my favorite little local artists. She's incredible. So you could put all of your artwork on a vision board and write sold across and show pictures of you painting from your experiences with travel. And I don't want to get too specific, but yes, I hope that helps. Okay, number 3. I have a hard time believing the universe is going to give me everything I want. What makes me so special? I'm only giggling because this was me like so many years ago. That was that whole thing about that, oh my God, these fucking dumb bitches with the universe thinking that the universe is out there to make their wishes come true. Well, what the fuck else is it doing? What the fuck are all my dead loved ones doing? What are my guides doing? What are my angels doing? Yeah, they're looking out for me. Had I known that then, Could have done a lot of cooler, different, things, but coulda, shoulda, fucking didn't, right? However, why not you? Why aren't you special? You are special. Nobody else has your DNA. Nobody else thinks the way that you do. Nobody else is made up of the same passions, of the same interests, of the same experiences as you, as the same dreams, wants, wishes. Why the fuck don't you deserve it? You do. You absolutely do. And I'm sorry to anybody who is in that process of learning that you are fucking worthy, because I know how hard it is to switch the brain. But like Dr. Emoto, it doesn't matter necessarily if you believe the positive or negative words. What matters is that that's what's being repeated, that's what's being absorbed. So instead of saying, what makes me so special? I am so special, and the universe wants me to be my special self and live my special life. Abso-fucking-lutely. I don't believe for 1 second that you are not special enough to get all of your real major dreams to come true in this life. I fully believe that you will. The last question. Do you find having visuals helps manifestation? Like a vision board? Like I said, yeah, absolutely. I definitely do. However, like I said, manifestation does not, a vision board does not mean a fucking thing if your mindset is not there. If you don't think you're worthy of those dreams, if you aren't affirming those dreams and those visual aids, then it's not all for naught, because it is. Everything's a learning process, every single thing. However, it's not as effective. The clarity, huge. Mindset, huge. Visuals, auditory things, those are all very personal, like I said. And if you're a visual person, which this person definitely is, then that's going to be big for you. But to set that intention, to really sit down and do it, and remember the intention that you're making that with, because like anything else, I used to work at a 5-star luxury resort, and we had these 2 brothers who were cooks, and one of them, when he cooked in the staff calf, everybody was so happy. Everybody loved it. The food was delicious. Even though it maybe wasn't the best food, he put a lot of love into it, and he really did his best with it. And his little brother would go and do the same thing. And I remember being like, this food tastes like, or somebody said, this food tastes like shit. And this is not good. And I said, what is the difference? They're such similar people. They have similar backgrounds, culinary backgrounds. What's the difference? I said, one cooks with love in their heart and the other cooks with hate. I don't mean to giggle, but at the time, he was a crusty, musty, little fucking dusty dude. So, he was constantly blaming other people for shit, and always had a little snarl on his face. And you could taste the difference. You could genuinely taste the difference. So with that being said, the intention in which you're putting your vision board together is huge. If you're doing it just because, fuck, I gotta get this done, and oh my God, I gotta do this because I got 10 more other things I gotta do. No, there's an energy attached to it. I'm not saying nothing's gonna work. I'm saying be mindful of when you are manifesting, when you are calling in, when you are creating visual aids, what your intention is around it. Because that's what carries it. That gives it that extra little sparkle, that extra little oomph, that direct delivery to your guides, your angels, to the universe. And I hope I didn't bore the fuck out of you, because I think I hit over an hour. God damn, an hour and 8 minutes just rambling on by myself about manifestation. Thank you for tolerating me. My name is Krista Kayser. I am also known as the Vibe Curator. If you're looking for readings, you can hit up thevibecurator.ca, or you can find me on social at the.vibe.curator on Instagram, the Vibe Curator on Facebook, and I believe it's at the Vibe Curator 1111 on TikTok. Love you, angels. Happy new moon. And I love you all. And I'm so grateful for you. And I can't wait to hear what you're manifesting. Okay, bye. Love you.